How do you feel about your own body? I was just 6 years old when my parents and I were called to the doctor. The doctor sits us down, she puts me on a scale, she shakes her head, and she says a bunch of big words I can't understand. I'm 6. I don't think very much of this experience, but it was at this point in my life that I started to notice how other people felt a constant need to mention how fat I looked. Now, this external chatter quickly became internal, self-inflicted. I wondered why I looked so big. I wondered why I couldn't look like all the other girls in year 2. Year 2 blended into every other year in my life, and at a certain point, I couldn't take it any longer. But before that, my parents were so confused. Now, both my parents are immigrants. My mum is from Tanzania, and my dad is from Nigeria. And in a lot of different African cultures, having a larger body type is something that's seen as desirable. It's often seen as a symbol that your mother or your wife had done a very good job in cooking. In fact, every single time I go back home, my aunties and my uncles say the exact same thing to my parents. They say, "Hey, Alaji, do you feed your children?" You know they feed this child. My parents were so confused because while I was considered average size back home, in this country I got teased for how fat I looked. But we're not born hating our own bodies. We were taught to hate our own bodies. Who taught you to hate the body that you live in? The body that's pumping you blood, the body that's keeping you alive. And while I wish I could go deeper in explaining this dark period of my life, the bottom line is that I changed my body to get the outside world to shut up. And they did. They kept quiet. But the voices in my head didn't. I lost the weight, sure, but there was still a voice in my head telling myself that I could always lose a bit more. But what that part of me didn't understand, and what I want everyone else to understand today, is that your body can change and will change throughout all these different stages of your life. But your inherent worth as a human being, living, breathing, here right now, that never changes. Thank you so much for listening.